Hey you guys, how's it going? This is StarcraftCove here with the second game of a series of, I believe it's best of 7 between TTOne and Liquid Jinro for the finals of MLG Dallas, which were a week ago. I believe that was starting November 5th, that Friday, and going through Saturday and even Sunday of that weekend. So Liquid Jinro, if you haven't seen it, first game, go back and watch it. Liquid Jinro did come out ahead in that one. Just had a really solid push with a good strong combination of infantry on the ground and air units above, with those Vikings and Banshees just completely demolishing those Colossus on the ground. Couldn't do anything since the Stalkers were completely out of position. So going into game 2 here, we're going to be on Xel'Naga Caverns. This is a lot of people, I mean myself included, this is a pretty popular, one of the newer maps. Post-beta, I believe. It was either really late beta or it came in directly after retail release. So pretty standard here so far. Well, completely standard here so far. So this is especially, you know, for Zerg, I'm not really that comfortable. I think it's pretty Protoss favored in Protoss versus Zerg, but with Terran versus Protoss, I think it's a bit more balanced. And for Terrans, what they can do, they can really take advantage of this high yield gold expansion right here, because a lot of times both Protoss and Zerg, you'll see them expand here first to their natural, and then you'll see them take out these rocks and then move to this as their second expansion. But Terrans, on the other hand, they'll take their natural first, obviously, but then they'll just come over here and just take this with a planetary fortress and, you know, throw up a couple bunkers here and usually a crap ton of tanks in the front and a couple missile turrets for detection and air support in the back. So Terrans really are able to take advantage of this high yield more than any other race, I think, on this map. So we'll see if that comes into play later on in the match. Let's see here. Liquid Jinro is able to reject this probe. Not a whole lot of scouting information because, like I said, it's just totally standard so far. This is kind of cute, putting his supply depots directly next to both of the Vespene geysers. Alright. Meanwhile, this SCV coming in here, just doing a little high five with the Zealot there. That's kind of cute. My cat is, for some reason, attacking the door. Todd, hey, come here. Okay. She's a little bit frisky. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. So this Marine is deciding to come back. I think he noticed probably that this probe was coming back in for a second round. And still nothing really other than this tech lab coming down for anything too exciting. This Marauder is going to be able to pick that off really easily. The probe getting a couple hits off on that SCV, but nothing too exciting. And this is definitely what TTOne was probably wanting to scout out. Throwing down a really quick command center followed up by another barracks. So this is going to be a quick racks into FE build from the Terran. Hey. Meanwhile, it looks like TT1 was probably aware that, you know, he was saving up his minerals, that Jinro was saving up his minerals to go for that quick command center. So TT1's going to be throwing down his Nexus pretty early as well. So neither of these players going for a really quick expand. Going to be setting up for the long haul. And meanwhile, Jinro's throwing up another barracks. This is a pretty common build from Liquid Jinro. You'll often see him go for anywhere between, you know, either 3 or 4 racks usually off of one base. And then once he gets his second expansion set up with the mules starting to drop down, you'll see him transition into... He doesn't really use mech units all that much, so you'll see him, you know, create the factory, but just to get down a couple starports for Banshee harass and Viking support against Colossus. And you're seeing Jinro here already going for these high mineral, the destructible rocks here, protecting the rich mineral field. It would be really interesting to see this command center come down here immediately and take the high yield. That would be pretty exciting to watch, but unfortunately he's not going to be doing that. So both of these expansions going down at pretty much exactly the same time. And Jinro has both stim pack and combat shields going for his Marines, so that's definitely going to make them quite a bit more effective DPS. Oh man, and this probe once again coming in here for yet another full round of scouting. He's going to see all three of these racks. I mean, you can kind of assume that from Jinro if you're familiar with his play at all, but still good to get that confirmation that that's exactly what he's doing. Liquid Jinro hanging out here at the Xel'Naga Watchtower. Not really sure why he's bringing that back, but he is anyway, so whatever. Meanwhile, Liquid Jinro, he is starting to feel, I guess, a little bit antsy about this, wanting to fortify his natural expansion just a little bit with a bunker. And meanwhile, if we look at the production tab, that combat shield's just about done, continuing to produce more infantry. And let's see here, his factory is just now starting to come down. So, oh yeah, right, that's the building that I've had selected this whole time. Dear me, that's alright. He's got a pretty cute wall of supply depots right here. He's very SimCity-ish with his supply depots. So anyway, kind of interesting that TTOne would be using a probe to tag this watchtower when he really could have just a zealot up there, and I think that's probably a bit more effective economy-wise. And I realize that he probably does want to keep his main force back here with his expansion, just so this map is pretty notorious for having this backdoor. If we have, we can watch here, it's a long ways around, but you can take this back road over here to go around, and he is setting up that pylon right there. Perfect timing. Thank you very much, TTOne. You were quite generous with that timing for the pylon. But Zerglings especially are really good at just, running back here. If an army is out of place and not in position to protect this expansion right here, Zerglings can really just take out pretty much all these workers here if you get caught off guard. But TT1, being aware of that, keeps his force back. Same with Liquid Jinro, who has a really nice line of infantry right here. I like how Liquid Jinro really does a really good job of the, creating a pre-concave in case there's going to be any attacking forces. And this probe just doing a little bit of scouting, seeing if Liquid Jinro is going to be taking any of his expansions super early. And we don't have another Nexus or Command Center on the way yet, but we do have a robotics support bay coming down for the possibility of Colossus. And yeah, immediately a Colossus coming out. And let's see if we look at Jinro's cam. Yeah, he now sees that that robotics bay is on the way, or not on the way, it's done. So the robotics support bay is done, and it was also researching that extended thermal alliance, so he can definitely safely assume that there's going to be a Colossus taking the field pretty soon. So it's looking like he's going to want to do a timing attack. He doesn't have any armor or weapons upgrades for his infantry, but he does have that stim and marine combat shields, so that'll definitely beef up these infantry units quite a bit. We are seeing another tech lab and starting to produce some Vikings, looked like. Yeah, starting to produce a couple Vikings, getting ready for those Colossus coming out. And he is going to be scouting around. Looks like he will see this pylon. No, turn around. Okay, there he goes. Going back, making sure he takes out that pylon. And this can really, if Protoss is really powerful in the fact that they can, if they have map control, they can put pylons pretty much anywhere around the map, and be able to warp in units anywhere on the map that they want to. But if they aren't trying to maintain map control and they put a bunch of pylons outside, it can really actually be pretty dangerous, because this pylon's going to go down, and it's actually going to, oh man, it looks like another pylon just barely warped in there. It was going to supply cap him there, but it didn't quite, just because he had another pylon coming in. Another gateway going down for TT1, and he does have 2 Colossus with his army now. So this is a pretty hefty group. If we look at the army tab, excuse me. Let's see here. TT1 is a bit ahead, and a perfect scan going down. He realizes that he's trying to secure those rocks and take those out, and in preparation for taking that that expansion. And Liquid Jinro also has his expansion coming in. Really not the best timing for that expansion to be coming down, though. Maybe he's just trying to soak up some damage from these so he has a better chance in this battle, which is actually kind of a good idea. But these, oh man, those Marauders were just slaughtered. Those really good. Okay, I'm gonna back up and watch those that force field placement again. If we watch, yeah, those Zealots were just able to come in here and slice and dice all of those Marauders that were right there, because TTOne was able to use those sentries, which have been banking energy for so long in this game. They were just able to throw down those force fields behind the infantry units. And now this expansion, this attempted expansion, is going to go down immediately before even touching any of these rich mineral fields, all still at 1500. Meanwhile, Liquid Jinro was able to take out all of the Colossus, except this one's just hanging out here in the middle now. Oh, we have a drop here. Sorry about that, guys. I almost completely missed that one. But we do have a drop going down. He is able to pick that off. Oh, it looks like he only lost that one Marine. Took out maybe a Zealot or two, as well as a Pylon, which supply locked TT1 here. Meanwhile, oh man, this Colossus that we noticed earlier is just going to get sniped because he's completely out of position. Looks like just a rally point that was completely forgotten about. So that's unfortunate. This Marine just hanging out here with his probe. There he goes. He finally sees it. Now this Pylon's going to be going down. It's going to be interesting to see if he actually cancels this, because, oh, no, he is actually going to come over and take out that Marine and try to keep that Pylon alive. Meanwhile, these going to be coming in here and taking out all of these Pylons, and that is, oh, just barely not going to supply lock TT1. Oh, there it goes. Looks like another Pylon was taken out by another drop down here, actually. Jeez. And meanwhile, we do have another little sneak around the back here, and this could be trouble, though. Liquid Jinro is kind of working his way into a corner. I think if he had taken out that Colossus first, that would have been a better idea, but he does engage right here with this ramp. Unfortunately, this ramp is just really wide and going to be able to allow a pretty good concave still from all these Stalkers and the Immortal and these Zealots rushing in. So Liquid Jinro definitely losing his army there. But these drops and these, this one wasn't really a drop, but it was, just a stim around the back, taking out another Pylon. We do have another drop over here from Liquid Jinro coming in. Not really going to do a whole lot of damage. Liquid Jinro realizing that he doesn't really have anything that can do something there. Going to pull out. And TT1 is definitely in a very comfortable position now. He has about, let's see here, it's 42 supply over Liquid Jinro. And if we look at the units lost tab, yeah, that is also favoring TT1. And TT1 is now, once again, these players taking their next expansion at pretty much the same exact time. Liquid Jinro did try to take that earlier, but was not able to hold on to it. Lost it pretty much immediately with that first powerful Colossus and just gateway unit combination attack. And yeah, Liquid Jinro is just definitely not going to have nearly enough forces here to deal with this. So those Vikings, they have been playing a crucial role throughout this game, taking out those Colossus, but he just hasn't had the ground forces to clean up the rest of the gateway units. Is able to take out that Immortal in the front, but that's looking pretty bad here for Jinro in the second game. And we have even more units streaming across the field. Some of them are probes, but going to take out that high yield expansion right when T21's about to secure his own. So that's going to be it for the second game. I believe these first two games were part of, or the first three games, I guess, since that is now one game for each, one for Liquid Jinro and one for TT1. So it's going to go to a third game between these two players for the winner's bracket round, and then it's also going to go to the grand finals. And I can tell you right now that that's still going to be between Liquid Jinro and TT1, and I believe the games just basically carry over. So it is going to be essentially a best of 7. So we will see who... Jesus, did I already fucking spoil... Oh god, I'm so stupid. Whatever, dude, I already cast it. I already spoiled that Liquid Jinro won this. Jesus Christ, I am dumb. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, don't pay attention to that. It's going to be a big surprise when you guys see who wins the MLG Dallas. I swear I will get better at not being a dumbass with these casts. I promise, guys. Anyway, that's going to be it for this game. Stay tuned for the next game. This has been StarcraftCove with a StarCraft 2 commentary.